Live from the KWQC Broadcast Center in downtown Davenport with Morgan Otier and Kyle Keel. This is Quad Cities Live.
Today on QCL, one special night in the Quad Cities is changing lives, but they need your help to make it happen. We're talking about Night to Shine and how you can be part of the magic.
Plus, what to do with the mess when you're tackling a big home project. Learn more about Speedy Dumpster Rentals, a fast-growing local company that's making cleanup simple.
And a closer look at a stunning photography exhibition underway now at the Figge Art Museum that blurs the line between reality and imagination. And that's where we get started on this Thursday, January 15th. Thank you for joining us. I'm Morgan Otier alongside my co-host Kyle Keel. The Figge Art Museum is inviting visitors to see the world in a whole new way with its current exhibition, A Surreal Lens.
Yeah, the show explores how photographers use imagination, illusion, and unexpected techniques to transform everyday scenes into something a little more mysterious. So joining us today is Figge co-senior curator Joshua Johnson. Joshua, welcome back to the show.
Yes.
Thank you for having me.
Yes, so as Morgan mentioned, this is called A Surreal Lens Photography, photography from the Figge collection. So tell us all about this new exhibition that you have going on.
Yeah, so this is a really interesting one because I think oftentimes when people think about photography, they often think of it being this kind of objective medium, right? Something that is going to take an image and it's going to show you exactly what was documented in front of the photographer. This exhibition really kind of leans into the fact that that's almost never been the case from the advent of photography.
Right.
It's always been capable to manipulate what you're seeing. It's always been capable to create these kind of dreamlike images. So we really focus on the development of, surrealism as a movement following World War I, moving all the way up into the present, how it's still impacting photographers today. And it really allows you to kind of explore these like dreamlike vistas, and it really let you think through what these artists were kind of imagining as they were creating these images.
Yeah, and we're taking a look at some of them on the screen right now. You're just getting a good idea of what the exhibition looks like. Now, Kyle mentioned something about the Figge's, collection, which I love. I love when you all come on the show and you talk a little bit more about the Figge collection. So how does this specific exhibition kind of connect with the broader photography collection that you have at the Figge? Because I'm sure, these feel like they were specifically chosen for this.
They were. And so when we were putting together this exhibition, I think I started with a list of over 300 objects that could fit into this particular context. And this room can really fit about 15 photographs. So trying to narrow that down to what is really the quintessential or the best, or what formulated the kind of best argument about what this kind of surrealism represents to photography was an interesting question to kind of go through. And so the photography collection, it's not something that dates back super far in our collecting history. Obviously the institution goes back to 1925, but it is something that has really been growing leaps and bounds, and especially in the last couple decades. And we're so proud to have these works on display.
I just love that little peek into what you do, at the Figge, and that sounds like quite a task.
Yeah, and
narrowing it down.
And when you're passionate about something like art, I was just having a conversation with someone earlier. It's hard to narrow those types of things down. So you said about 15 pieces are in this collection?
Roughly, yeah.
Okay, so are there any that particularly stand out to you? I know it's hard to pick one, probably.
There's one that's a particular favorite. It's actually by a living photographer by the name of Aaron Lurth, and he actually has done this whole series where he has personified his social anxiety, which is something I can personally identify with. But the particular photograph in the exhibition is these two couples watching a movie on a couch in someone's quintessential basement, and they're, in an amorous embrace, let's say that. And the personification of his anxiety is in a ghillie suit, kind of hiding, camouflaged among them, eating from a bag of potato chips, just trying to sink into the furniture.
Interesting.
Which, with anyone with anxiety, it's like, oh yeah, I understand that feeling entirely.
Absolutely. So yeah, we've talked a little bit about, the way that these photos kind of give us a different view of something, especially when you're comparing it to like traditional photography. So what are some of the techniques that are used in these photographs, at least as you can speak to them, that change the way that we may see reality.
Yeah, it's really interesting because I think with especially the advent of AI-generated imagery, we're now bombarded with these kind of surreal scenes, but really this has always been a thing. So early on, you're looking at like photo montage where you're taking different early plates of photography and able to like layer them on top of each other to create a new exposure. Later artists are of course using things like Photoshop, but really it's always been possible to either collage things in or change the negative itself to get an image that looks realistic but is a completely surreal vantage point.
I just find that so interesting.
Yeah, and you know,
for a long time.
And I bet you it's very interesting to watch people go through these exhibits that you all work so hard to put on. So what kind of reactions are you hoping to see, or emotions come from people who go through the exhibit?
One of my favorites going through this particular exhibition, I was leading a group of, I think it was St. Ambrose students, kind of walking them through this, and they the immediate response I heard, well, that was trippy, which I can really appreciate, because it is interesting to look at this almost like psychedelic visions of some of these photographers.
Yeah, and I like to, sometimes with these exhibitions, obviously you have one artist many times with different exhibitions, but I like when you have these types of collections that you're showcasing, where you get a vantage point from many different artists oftentimes and get to see the way they work. So for somebody who has maybe never been to the Figge, or maybe hasn't had a lot of interest in photography in the past, or maybe the style of photography, why would you convince them to maybe come check this out?
I think photography is one of those kind of entry mediums, right? Everyone now carries a camera around with them everywhere in their pocket.
That's true.
So this is something that even if you don't necessarily think of yourself as an artist or a photographer, you have a lens into this world. You have taken photographs, so you have an appreciation for these things. So come and see these works and get inspired to take some different images yourself.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah, and is there anything else about this exhibition, or really the photography collection as a whole, that people should know before they head out?
Well, one thing I'd like to mention is that later in the spring we are going to be having a maker night where we also ask people to come and tour the specific exhibition. I'll be leading a tour, so if you aren't tired of my voice from this, you can come check that out.
Not possible.
Never.
But look for that later in the spring, and there will also be a making activity associated with it.
Okay, I love all of that, and the way that you guys put all these things together too. It only enhances, I think, a visit to the Figge Art Museum. A Surreal Lens is the name of the photography exhibition that we just talked about. It runs through June 21st, so you have some time to learn more or take a look at other exhibitions currently underway. Just visit FiggeArtMuseum.org. Joshua, once again, thank you so much for joining us today.
It was a pleasure.
Thanks, Joshua. We'll see you next time. Well, still to come on Quad Cities Live, Night to Shine is looking for volunteers to help make this year's even more special for those with special needs. We'll learn more after the break.
Watching Quad Cities Live.
Every year, something truly magical happens right here in the Quad Cities, an unforgettable night where guests with special needs are treated like royalty. It's called Night to Shine, and it's a worldwide experience, a prom experience created by the Tim Tebow Foundation. Joining us today with more on the event in Rock Island is Carolyn O'Connor, missions pastor with Heritage Church. Carolyn, thanks for being here today.
Thanks for having me.
Well, I just love this event, and I love talking about it every year. It's inspiring, and it's just a lot of fun. When you see the photos, you'll know what I'm talking about. But let's do that. Let's start with a little bit of background. What is Night to Shine?
Night to Shine is a special prom for people with disabilities where it's really focused on them and creating a safe, fun, amazing environment where they can be celebrated as the true kings and queens of the prom.
Yes, and we are going to see some photos on the screen right now of previous events. What do you personally feel makes Night to Shine such a special event?
Well, I think it's because it's specifically focused on the guest. One of the things that's been really important to me since we started doing this event is that we put the event together with our guest in mind. Right. And so there's things that we might want to do that would not necessarily be the best experience for a guest, even down to the capacity of the event is what is a good size so that our guests can feel safe, they can have fun, they can have a great experience without all the things that unfortunately, honestly, come with life for them, as well as care for their parents. And so it's so focused on them, and I just love when you see the smiles and all of that. It's just, there's something about it that
and there's one on the screen right now, and then they're cutting a rug out there. I mean, I love that you said that, because there is a lot to think about. It isn't just throwing a party, you know, when it comes to something like this. You know, you have to be so specific and thoughtful, and you do. Is this is the second year that it'll be held at the church? Is that correct?
That is correct. We stepped up last year when they were looking for people to host the event.
Okay.
Because previously it had been this massive event, which I had been a volunteer at. It was this amazing experience. But even for me, it was a lot.
Overwhelming for you. You can only imagine how it would be for some of the attendees.
And so when we stepped up last year, it was like, okay. And even when you move from a volunteer into helping plan it, you're like, wow, all these things that go into it. But as second year, I'm like, okay, I know what to expect. I know a little bit more. Yeah. But yeah, I'm excited for it this year.
Oh, I can only imagine. Okay, so what can some of our honored guests expect when they attend the event? I'm sure we'll have many repeat attendees, but there's going to be some newcomers as well.
Well, when you come into the event, there's check-in specifically for them to help get them connected to their buddy.
Okay.
Some are coming with a buddy themselves. They have a friend or a family member that will spend the evening with them. But many of our guests are going to show up, and they're going to get paired with someone who's going to be their friend for the night.
Oh, okay.
And then they're going to walk the red carpet with a paparazzi to cheer them on. And then hair, makeup, flowers, shoe shine. We have a bling bar this year, which I'm really excited about because taking into account feedback. And then we have an awesome dance room. And if they're like, oh, I want to sing, we have a karaoke room.
I saw that. I think we have some photos of some karaoke performances, and there we're seeing on the screen one of the young ladies getting her makeup done. There's the karaoke. Yeah, this is absolutely memorable for all the guests in attendance. But why is this also such a memorable night or a special night for, let's say, family members of the guests or even their buddies, their volunteer buddies?
Well, for family members, it's an opportunity for them maybe to take a step back, catch their breath.
Yeah.
Because as much as we may not want to talk about it, caregiving can be very challenging.
Yep.
And so we have a room for them with food and with volunteers specifically focused on them to say, we're here, take a breath, we've got your family member, they're safe, and you can stand back and celebrate with them versus, I got to think about this and so forth. And then for volunteers, I think a first-time volunteer is always like, oh, I don't know if I can do this. But then you settle in, and so many of them come out of it saying, oh my word, I had so much more fun than I ever expected. And that's the thing we really want people to know is there's a lot of fear sometimes around, well, what if I do this or what might that? It's like, no. You're here to be a friend. You're here to celebrate, you enjoy it along with, and make sure that they have an amazing night, and you're going to get out way more than even our guests get.
Yeah, I would think that that would be the case. So speaking of volunteering, you're looking for more volunteers. I believe both Night to Shine events in the Quad Cities. So we have one in Rock Island. There's also one, I believe, in Davenport at St. Ambrose University, also coming up around the same time. Looking for more volunteers. So can you tell us, you know, maybe what different volunteer positions you're looking for? Is it buddies specifically?
Well, at this point, really what we need are buddies.
Okay.
One of the guidelines set forth by the foundation is that every guest has their own buddy.
Okay.
They're paired, they're not a date, they're a friend. And so they go through the event with the guest. And so we still need quite a few buddies.
Okay.
And our event's at capacity in terms of guests, but one of the things that I'm kind of hoping for is that we have more volunteers step up, so we might have the possibility of opening up a few more guest spots.
Okay, I love that. So there is a possibility, but everyone's got to sign up to be a buddy in order for that to happen. Do volunteers need any specific experience or training?
No, we will offer training. The last week of January, we have 2 training dates that will walk you through what does it mean to be a buddy, what are the precautions, what are the things you need to know, and how are we coming alongside to support you in that.
Okay.
So you get the training you need. We even receive some amazing training videos from the foundation to help
that's helpful.
Make it comfortable. And then you show up the night, you get to dress up, because who doesn't love putting on the bling?
I know.
So you get to show up and have fun. And No special training, no special things you have to do. Just come with an expectant heart and ready to love.
Enjoy yourself. Okay, so as we wrap up with you, we want to get some information here on the website, particularly that website at the bottom of the screen. So this is where people go, I would assume, Night to Shine Quad Cities Illinois.com,
yes.
And they can find information there about signing up to volunteer?
Yes, all the registration links are there, and as we get closer there'll be training videos and other things to help for those who can't make the in-person training.
Okay.
Everything they need is at that website, and there's also contact information if they have questions.
Perfect. Carolyn, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Such a pleasure having you. We appreciate it. We've still got much more fun to come on QCL. The local business with more than 500 five-star reviews that's taking the stress out of cleanup and construction projects.
Quad Cities Live continues.
Whether you are tackling a home renovation, a major clean out, or a construction project, one thing that can make or break the whole process, how quickly and reliably you can get rid of the mess.
That's right, and that's where Speedy Dumpster Rentals comes in. Owner Derek Walker is joining us now in studio. Derek, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, we're happy to have you here. Obviously, yeah, I mean, people need places to dump all of their belongings and yeah, they're junk. Let's just be honest. You know, we all have some junk lying around, right? So you just recently last year celebrated 5 years in business. So tell us a little bit more about your company and how you got it all started.
Well, I started in my garage.
Oh,
right. I called up a few dumpster rental companies to try to get rid of some unwanted items. Frustration from trying to get a dumpster.
Okay.
And that's when the idea actually came up, and I'm like, okay, I'll start a dumpster rental business.
Okay, so out of necessity for yourself, you're like, there is a need here that needs to be filled, and I'm going to do that. I love that. Okay, so Speedy is part of the name, right? So what does Speedy mean for you, I suppose, in your business model or just in like your day-to-day?
Well, Morgan, Speedy, you know, Speedy is more or less like, it's not just a name. It's like a standard, the way we do business. You know, we pretty much want to answer our calls on time, be prompt for our customers, and make sure we provide reliable, quality service.
Okay.
And I think that's important to point out is yes, you want it fast, but you also want that quality to be there as well.
That's right, Kyle.
So, you know, you're saying you got this going in your garage. So with having your business locally rooted, why is it so important to provide this service for your community?
Well, there's a lot of frustration with trying to get a dumpster from other companies. Sure. Right, and so I just saw that, gap. I saw it, and so I took advantage of it and started a company, and the Quad Cities adopted the business model and started calling our phones like crazy, and here we are today, 5 years later, 500 five-star reviews.
Wow.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Yes.
Thank you.
That is very cool.
But
very
those are very
exciting.
important these days because people look at those.
That's right.
They do. It is very meaningful. So can you explain to us a little bit about how it all works, like how your pricing works, what customers can expect when they call? I'm assuming you get a lot of first-time customers, right? People that have never been through this process before.
Right. That's right. We do. And so we actually walk the customer through that process, right? And so we perform what's called a PDSA, and it's called a pre-delivery site assessment. So we actually show up and we evaluate the site, and we put down some protective surface protection onto their property to ensure that none of the customers' property is damaged. So that's what we do.
Oh, good.
So it sounds like safety is certainly
safety's number one.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, safety's number one.
Absolutely. Well, everyone loves a good deal, and I know you have a couple of specials going on, a couple of promotions that you wanted to talk about.
So right now we have a simple flat rate pricing: $295 for a 2-day rental. Okay. And $395 for a 10-day rental of any size dumpster. Oh, wow. And the dumpsters that we actually provide are 10-yard, 15-yard, and 20 cubic yard dumpsters.
So you can choose which size you need for those prices?
Yes, sir.
Oh, wow.
And they're all the same price.
Wow.
Yes,
Nice.
sir.
Okay,
Yes, sir.
that is good to know, right?
Yeah.
For anybody that's looking into maybe doing a little bit of a New Year
Early spring cleaning.
early spring cleaning, exactly.
Well, Morgan, you said that, you know, you got some things to get rid of.
I do.
Right? And Kyle, you do as well?
Oh gosh,
Don't
my
we
basement.
all?
No one wants to see my basement right now.
Okay.
Absolutely not. Definitely not me. So we've talked about your impressive growth year over year.
Yeah.
We've mentioned a couple of times hundreds of 5-star reviews.
Yeah.
How does it make you and your team feel to see customers kind of reacting in such a way that they feel like they want to go on and they want to sing your praises?
Well, it's amazing, right? You know, because I'm up at 3 in the morning.
Oh, wow.
Right, almost every day,
Wow.
and I'm back home around 5, 6 at night. You know, me and the team, and so we just like to stay on top of it. And we started with 1 truck and 1 dumpster, and now we have over 2 trucks and over 20 dumpsters, and we're just happy.
Yeah.
That's right.
That's great.
That's right.
Yeah, so if anyone's watching this at home, and I know there are some of you at home who are saying, I need one of these to get this cleaning done. How can they get in contact with you to get the process going?
Well, they can call the office, 563-519-8399, Monday through Friday, 7 a.m. to 7:30 p.m. Yes,
Okay.
sir.
Great. And you can give them a call anytime. We'll get that phone number on your screen as well. Here it is. Along with the website, you can actually schedule a service on the web by heading to SpeedyDumpsterRentalsLLC.com. That's the website there. You'll also find the phone number on the screen. And we will be sure to include this information on our website. So for anybody that may have missed it or didn't have a pen, don't worry. We will get you squared away by heading to KWQC.com and visiting Quad Cities Live. Derek, thank you
Morgan,
so much.
Kyle, thank you.
Congratulations on everything. Yes, thank you very much
we
for being
appreciate
here.
it. Well, up next on Quad Cities Live, Throwback Thursday, one of us is hopping on a new social media trend going back to 2016.
Quad Cities Live continues.
All right, it is Thursday, which means it is time for Throwback Thursday.
TBT.
Yeah, TBT. I've been seeing a lot of people posting on social media today.
Yeah.
Their TBTs. And speaking of, there's a little bit of a trend happening.
Yeah, so I had no idea that this was even a thing. I'm like, this is going to be perfect for my Throwback Thursday on QCL. So apparently it's the 2016 trend. I don't know exactly what the hashtag is.
Yeah.
But apparently, I don't know if this is Gen Z or Gen Alpha or whatever, but apparently 2026 is the new 2016. So everyone, I don't know what that means. I got to do a little more research. I know some people are like, no, thank you. No,
so
yeah, I went back 10 years. It was mind-boggling to think that 2016 was 10 years ago, but I was at the station in Waterloo. This was my second job. I was on the air. I remember this day vividly. This is one of, I think, maybe my second time doing solo tornado coverage until another meteorologist got in, and it's just one of those things that, as a meteorologist, you just remember doing on your own. So that was a young Kyle doing that. I know, and then this was the 2016 floods in Cedar Rapids, the second highest crest on record, and this was where I was. Editing error, user error. But anyway, that's my throwback there. So that up there in Waterloo, that's really where I got my chops for like severe weather coverage, and that's what I've brought here to TV6. So.
That's wonderful. Yeah. Okay, so mine goes back to 2022.
Okay.
This month though, so I like to do that. So January 2022 is when I got Winnie.
Oh
so gosh. That's little baby
4
Winnie.
years old. Look at her.
Yeah, isn't she adorable? She was such a teeny tiny little thing.
Look at her tapping on the floor.
Yeah, and she's so funny, and she's the exact same dog that she was as a puppy. She has not lost it at all.
No.
She's a little heavy. She's a little heavy right now. We won't talk about that. But
hey, it's wintertime.
It's wintertime, exactly. But there's little baby Darbs holding little baby Winnie.
Oh,
isn't
so
that cute?
Sweet.
Yes, and now Winnie is just such a part of the family. So
they BFFs now?
They're absolutely BFFs. Yes, they are. Thank you so much for watching.
Jeopardy is coming up next, followed by your news at 4. We'll see you back here tomorrow.